faces and a little chat.
Hey.
I'm going to start off by thanking everyone for sticking around today. We appreciate it. And thank you to 2 of our 3 Hall of Fame finalists this year for being here. Unfortunately, Chuck and his son Scott couldn't make it, but we'll have contact information for you guys to reach out to Scott for any comments or any questions you have from the Howley family. Woody?
Yeah, I know me and D Ware just understanding the sensitivity of what's gone and taking place with Damar Hamlin over, the last few days. We just wanted to recognize and send our prayers up to Damar Hamlin himself, his family, and just have a perspective of, we're very casual. We always hear those words that, we're praying for you. But in my mind, I just, speaking for both of us is, let's be intentional about this. Just saying the word casually that we're praying for you is just one thing, but actually being on your knees and praying for this young man, this really rattled me. And I've been playing this game for 20 some years. As a kid, I started at 7 years old. And I'd never seen anything like it. And even today, I'm still a little emotional about, what took place. So to Damar Hamlin and his family, we just wanted to recognize you.
To be honest with you, I'm really lost for words because I know what it feels like to be on that football field, laying down, not being able to move, right? And so when Darren says, I'm praying for you, we really are praying for you, right? We are here saying that we appreciate all of you. We couldn't have done it without you, and we have seen that we don't do this in isolation. And we see that how things can be so impactful, but the people or someone making that split decision can save a life, right? And I know that this right here is to talk about us, but this is an opportunity to talk about us. Not just us two, but the players in general. And this is a great opportunity for us to say we are grateful, we are thankful for the many years that we got to play football and have the opportunity to have a life-changing opportunity from a resume that we said that we wanted to etch our names in the star of the Dallas Cowboys, and we're there at that next step. So I don't want to, we don't have to talk too much, but we will open it up for questions and, get those questions answered. But we're just saying that all of us are here, and we're using this as a platform to say we are praying for you, and hope that you get well soon.
So questions.
Darren, David Moore, Dallas Morning News, and also DeMarcus. In context of that, and in light of that too, just how gratifying is it for you to reach this point after all the years you've waited, but also as you talk about what you saw on Monday night, does it just bring another element of, my longevity and I accomplished more than maybe even I took for granted to reach to this point to where I can be considered for this honor?
Yeah, like you said, football is 2 to 3 years. That's it, right? We got to play 12. I got to play 12. Woody, how many years you played?
Yeah, 12, yeah.
12 years, and we're up here now, and we can actually say we're healthy. We're feeling good, but, feeling good enough. And now being able to be maybe enshrined together amongst the best ever. And that's that longevity that we talked about. When we look at those older guys and we say, oh, you played 15 years? You played 12 years when you're that rookie? And now we're those guys up here with a platform that we can change so many people's lives, and we're like, give that to me.
Yeah.
Give me that yellow jacket so I can do something with it. Not just say that, oh, I got a yellow jacket, I got an accomplishment. No. Like, give me that yellow jacket so I can do something with it.
Well, look, let me say this. It ain't been that long for you, bro. You should have went in last year, first time. So that question, David, was meant for me.
Right.
Yeah, it's been a long time, and it's look, I didn't play this game for recognition, but I did play the game. I wanted to play the game at a high level for my teammates. I wanted to play at a high level to win championships. Didn't care about the individual honors at the time. But in the end, when you put in that type of work, and I'm a business owner, my office is right upstairs here on the 3rd floor. When you put in that work and you spend those long hours and you wake up early and you stay late and you take the criticism and you're away from your family and whatnot, and you put that work in, man, you want to be recognized. Yeah. You really do. And for the longest time, I felt like I've always wanted to be recognized, to be one of the greats, to be one of those that wore a yellow jacket. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's been on my mind. And not only has it been on my mind, but it's something that I worked toward. It was to be something special in this life. I don't feel like, and I know I'm speaking for this one at the same time because I know D. Ware very well. We're not cut from the same cloth. I burn hot every single day, and you guys that are in this room know me that I burn hot. I want to go hard all the time. So this is a moment that I'm not going to take lightly. And I'm appreciative to be here, but at the same time, the only reason I'm here is because I was a captain of a defense that was a damn good defense in the early 90s. And I'm just a cog within that defense. I mean, there's so many great players that I played with, and that's the reason why I'm standing here today.
And I want to ask both of you a question, but Woody, we texted a little bit last night, and you weren't paying attention.
No.
And had you given up hope to a certain extent, or were you
no.
just trying to avoid it? What was?
I guess. Look, again, I've gone through this. I've heard about the show a number of times, and the Gold Jacket Hall of Fame show on NFL Network, and I think I watched it early on in my career, or after I got done playing when I was eligible, and that my name never came up. So I just got to a point where I was like, I'm not watching this. I'm just not. I mean, it's just honestly, it's been years. So I was with the family yesterday. Actually, I was working in the office. I was with my wife and my son, and I was working in the office, and then you pinged me. And you were the first one. And back, you spoke it into existence. You said, I'm going to speak it into existence. But no, I wasn't paying attention at the time.
And DeMarcus, how long did it take you to move on from last year's disappointment?
I think we don't ever move on from disappointments. Either you use that disappointment to just put you in a bigger hole, or, and I know that I can talk to Woody, you use those disappointments to sort of use the analogy of if you shake a Coke bottle up and you open it up, I use that, right, for something more positive. And that's why I'm still here right now. It's one of those things where people say you smile all the time. I smile through the disappointments. I smile through everything. But at the end of the day, I'm a firecracker. Just like he said, I'm always hot. So the disappointment is always there, but it just makes me want to do more, want to do better in something, when whatever that is. And you know what, the opportunity is back here knocking at the door again to maybe be able to do that.
Darren, this is for you. Nick Eatman, DallasCowboys.com. Not everybody gets to have a full circle moment in their life. You growing up, obviously in Arizona, getting the chance to go back. when that happens? I mean, I know you don't know how you're going to feel, but can you just talk about what you think it's going to be like just to go back to that area for a moment like this?
It's going to be special. I won a Super Bowl. Not only did I play in the Valley at Arizona State, but then I went back in '95 and played a long time ago. A long time ago. Don't look at me like that, D-Ware. He gave me that, damn, that was a long time ago look. But also won a Super Bowl there in a game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, which was my childhood team. But I was able to play in front of family, friends, teachers, coaches, just so many people that supported me and raised me up as a young kid. But then now I get to go back as a finalist and at the Super Bowl week. And again, it's like you said, Nick, it's going back full circle. Not sure, where it takes me, but just the honor is enough for me. And just to spend that time with my family and friends, again, it's going to be special.
Woody, talks with you has been, when you've seen the safeties the last few years that have gone in, your contemporaries, were you saying, okay, I just need to bide my time, or are you saying, did they forget about me?
Both. I mean, look, I think that and all deserve it, deservedly so. I think all those safeties deserve to go in. I mean, starting from Dawkins to Lynch to, I mean, Leroy Butler is one who, I felt should have been in, a lot earlier as well. So, seeing that there's been this transition where they started recognizing the safety play, and that was, I think, when Dawkins went in was the time where I thought, okay, maybe there is a shot to get in, because I've always felt like there was a valuable position. That's my wife's phone. You're fine.
You're right.
But I always felt like it was a valuable position, and I just didn't think the league recognized it as such. But now I think we're seeing, as a whole, and names like Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu, we started seeing those guys go in too. But I just felt like people are really starting to appreciate the position.
Christy Scales, Cowboys Radio. Sincere congratulations to you both. But we know as part of the process, there's a presenter that goes in and makes the case to the voters. So I'd like each of you to channel your inner Rick Goslin or Shireen Williams. And Woody, we'll start with you, but I want you to make the case for DeMarcus and then vice versa.
Look, when I retired, DeMarcus came in. He came in like a 2 years, I think, 2 or 3 years afterwards, and I remember watching him. And not only when Ware got drafted, Bill Parcells actually called me and told me, about this kid. He said, "Man, you got to come see this kid. He's different. He could have played in any era." And I was like, "He's a rookie. What are you talking about, Coach?" And he's like, "No, man, he's different. Come out and watch him." And I remember coming out to training camp and watching pass rush, and he was right. He was just a different guy. He was built different. He had different energy about him. He had a smile. He loved playing the game, and you don't see a little bit of all that. You don't see the athleticism. You don't see the energy. You don't see all the smile and the charisma and all. And Ware had all that. He had all those attributes about him that were positive attributes. And I fundamentally, when I looked at him, I thought this kid could have played at any era. He would have definitely played on our Super Bowl championship team. He would have gave Charles that R94 hell back then. But he's been a special player. He's always had that it factor, and should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer last year, hands down. Hands down. That wasn't even a question in my mind. I just thought he always played at a high level. Always gave this team a chance to win games, and he always had that sack when you needed that sack. Yeah. So that's Ware.
Well, how am I going to follow that? I remember when I first came into the league, I heard about Roy Williams. How Roy Williams was the big hitter, right? Big time player, and I'm like, man, he's a phenomenal player. I want to etch my name in stone of the Dallas Cowboys. And I remember Charles Haley came to me one day and he was like, "What? Charles, he's a young boy. Have you seen the guy that came before him?" He was talking about Darren Woodson. And I started looking up tape, and I was just like, wait a minute. How can he be better than Roy Williams? That's my thought. And I started going through and tallying things up, and sometimes that's usually the best thing you can do on black and white paper. I started looking at the championships. I only got one, but it took me 12 years. You got 3. And then I started thinking about how many years was he a captain? I think he was a captain almost every year, 11 years, counting. And then I kept going over how many tackles a free safety should have. Maybe 80. It's one of those things where if you average 10 tackles a game, you're a baller, right? But for you to be able to transition from, I would say, the defensive backfield to the front 7 and make plays and smile about it. As a player now, that's where I got my demeanor from. He didn't know that. He doesn't know that. It was the quiet before the storm, the quiet time before the storm, but it was the sun that shined every day. No matter what situation he was in, no matter what, he always came out. As they say, I'm not going to say it, but to lay the hammer down. All right? So when you have a free safety that is the captain of the team, usually it's the linebacker because they call majority of the plays. But when they say a free safety is a captain of the team, they're probably orchestrating everything for everybody, seeing the whole field. That's what free safeties are. That's what they do. So when you have a game changer, they can see the whole field from every angle. They can lead everybody on the team. They can make every tackle that is missed by everybody else. That's when you know you have a player that's not just about himself, but a player that if you mess up, I got you. You didn't get that sack? Oh, I got you. I get that sack, Charles. Oh, did you miss that tackle? I got you there too. So being able to have a guy like that is amazing, but also a champion. The true testament of a player, to me, is how many championships that they've won, because it's not about how good the players are on the team. It's how they lead the players on the team. The leadership, the intangible that you cannot find in 90% of players. That's why he had that C on his chest. So to that, I will be putting Darren Woodson in the Hall of Fame this year. And,
well, thank you.
Yeah, I'm telling you that right now. And, so that's my guy.
Gentlemen, Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. I'll present this question to both of you because it applies to both of you. So first of all, congratulations. Well deserved, obviously. You both have been as incomparable on the field of play as you were and continue to be off the field. Professionalism, philanthropy. Talk about how important it is for you guys to continue to be an ambassador of the game, both on and off the field, whether it be teaching guys how to find greatness between the lines, but also how to carry themselves outside of the
Man, that's a great, Patrick. That's a great question because life is about transitions, and for me, it was from going from high school to going into college and being what we call a Prop 48. I had to sit out my first year because my grades weren't good enough. Went through the humiliation of that. Ended up playing state, making the transition to the league, which I was a linebacker in college, and then transitioned to safety / nickelback / cornerback / linebacker. And then transitioning out of that and going into the ESPN as a broadcaster, and then again transitioning into being a partner in a real estate firm. Like, I've had so many transitions in my life, and through those, there's some wins and losses. You take it on the chin in a lot of situations, but what's really the thought process is that you're going to get knocked on your ass. You're going to get knocked on your ass in so many ways. but it's that person that continues to get up. That's what's made me special throughout the years, is just understanding this, that I just had that oomph to get up after those losses. So it's going from transition to transition to transition, and also having all these networks and all these relationships that have allowed me to be out into the community, get out in the community. I'll tell you one of the things that's really helped me as being a Dallas Cowboy is, again, talking through those transitions, but also having Charlotte Jones, the Jones family, be so involved in the community and help me through processes and getting to know people while I was here with the Dallas Cowboys. That is one of the things that's really helped me. So when I watch and see these young kids out here playing today, what I'm always trying to get them to do is go out and network while they're hot. This is the time to go out and network. You can't be isolated in these times, because right now is when they are the hottest they could ever be. This man right here, when he was playing, he wasn't in a closed door where you couldn't get to him. He was out trying to network and do business, because life does not stop when you're done playing football. It just begins. I was 36 years old when I stopped playing football. And then life began after that. And for me, it's just, you just get up every day, take your lumps, and keep on growing.
For me, I always think about the story of Jesus Christ. It's a story that everybody knows about, and when you hear it so many times, you start to believe it, right? It started to be embedded in your life. And I think that all of us are a type of story, a story that somebody can connect to in some type of way. And in our stories, and a lot of the football players' stories, we come from a 800 square foot apartment, no money, and by 13, you're either cutting grass, you're paying bills for your mom. You are the dad at 13 because your dad's not there. So now God gives you a platform to let your story live. So now you can connect, just like God connects with all of us, in some type of way to keep that story moving. So that's like, to me, that transition. Mm-hmm. Each time I transitioned, I tried to harbor that story that somebody listening to me and somebody's gonna believe it. And it's gonna propel them to do something even bigger than themselves. So that's why I get into the community. When I talk to those kids, I tell them stories. I tell them stories about things that happen in the locker room, tell them about Woody, talking about, Charles Haley, Tony Romo. They hear those stories. Because for me, I heard one story. I was at the Boys and Girls Club. Bo Jackson came in there. I didn't want to play football. I played baseball. I played baseball because I knew my family loved football. That's how they showed love. This is me, just long story short. Bo Jackson came in there and he said, you know what? You know, if you get a college scholarship, you can eat for free. Me eating for free was like, what? You get to eat for free on a scholarship? I was selling Cokes at an Auburn University football game. I didn't know who Bo Jackson was. And I seen him come through the tunnel. And the crowd went crazy, not with the pads on, but, they were recognizing him. And I sat down with the Cokes. And I said, that's the guy that came to the Boys and Girls Club. And that changed my life, that story. So as you talk about the transition in the stories, I want my story to live on, to better somebody else. So that's why I transition. I do things in the community. I do those things because eventually somebody else is going to be telling my story when I'm gone, and it's going to keep living.
Damn, you met Bo Jackson. I know that, man. That's special.
And I got to meet him like 3 months ago at a barbecue cook-off. And that was like a dream for me. And I told him the story. He was like, what? I was like, you got me to play football.
Did he remember?
No. But that's the point. You don't remember the stories all the time. That's what I did. And now I'm in that same platform. Yeah. I'm doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
DeMarcus, you alluded to it earlier about what it's like to be laying on that field. And obviously, a lot of players are going to be maybe thinking about what happened this week as they play this week. How do you put that helmet back on, the pads back on after something like that happens and say, all right, I've got to go do this and not worry about and block out some of the things that have happened?
I think you don't block out the things that happen. I think you harness it as a team, not as an individual, because you can't do it as an individual. It takes everybody on the team to say, we are going to put this helmet on, we are going to put these pads on, we are going to protect each other for what we're going out there being a gladiator in the Coliseum that we call a stadium. But we are doing this for something bigger than us. We're doing this for Damar, right? That's the reason why I would put that helmet on. It wouldn't be for a win.
Right.
It wouldn't be to play football. It would be for a point to where I'm going to make a statement. We are going to make a statement, and the other team on the other side will know, too, that we're making a statement. They will be on the same page. So we'll be doing it for a bigger cause. That would be the only reason why I would put that helmet back on.
Yeah, and I would say this is what you do. This is what we've been doing. This is what the football players have been doing since day one. It's just, you know the risks that are out there. Again, prayers is one thing, and you're going to pray for Damar Hamlin and his family, but in the end, you're cut from this cloth of playing football. Mm-hmm. And you could ask some of the guys out there on that field, they're thinking about it, but today they're going to walk out there like they did earlier this afternoon. I sat there and watched practice. They put those cleats on, put that helmet on. They went back out there and went back to work. So it's just a part of who you are.
Michael Gelkin, Dallas Morning News. Question for you both. When you reflect on your football career, of what are you proudest?
You want me to start that one?
Yeah.
My teammates, man. I had the best teammates ever, and I can't speak for D Ware, but for me, I had the best teammates. I mean, that locker room of Kenny Gant, Kevin Smith, and Tony Tolbert, and Charles Haley, and Nate Newton, and I'm not even naming the triplets. I mean, dude, we had the best locker room ever. It was comedy, and we were winning championships. That's the relationships that I had, they've continued for a lifetime, and they have not stopped at all. This organization, led by the Jones family, they've always had my back. On the field, off the field, in business, man, I can't tell you how many times I've walked in that office and Steven and Jerry have helped me with some business decisions. I can't tell you how many times. It's unbelievable. And then I would say, for me personally, it's always that tunnel walk. One thing I've always missed about the NFL, the one thing I could never get back, was when they give you that 2-minute warning and you gotta, you say your little prayer and you walk out and you get in that tunnel and you put your helmet on and you're walking down that tunnel, man, and you know you're about to go and play a physical game, especially going down. You don't remember the vet, but walking down the tunnel in the vet, and hearing them yell and cuss, call my mama names, and the whole nine, spit at you, throw things at you, and you got that helmet on, you look in the eyes of Michael Irvin, he's just crying because he can't wait to get out there. Like that, you don't get that back.
No.
I don't care how many. We just went through a merger acquisition with my business, my commercial real estate business. It's the pinnacle as far as selling your business, right? Don't even come close. Don't even come close. That's what I miss the most about the game.
I think for me it's the opportunity to see families change over time with the connection that you get in the locker room. Like, it's a cool thing to see, like, a rookie come in with no money and being able to help, like, so many people from maybe some advice that you said or whatever from his hard work. Or you see the connections of families when we have these family events. And it's so cool, and everybody comes in and we're all chattering, right? We're really not even talking about football. We're talking about, like, life stuff. And you start to figure out, like, why this person's playing and doing what they're doing. And we have these, it's almost like, imagine having, like, 50 brothers in the locker room. Some that you hate, but you just gotta, they're part of the family, right? And it's just a cool thing, but there's nothing that you can get back that, just that locker room vibe. I can't even describe it to you, but every day going into a place to where you're like, I don't know what's going to happen today.
Yeah.
But I know it's going to be something cool. And I think one of the biggest things that I'm going to miss is coming through that tunnel. And I miss it right now and seeing the same faces that are in here right now, sitting on the right, sitting on the left. And it's quiet for a moment because y'all are just sitting there too, just like looking at us, right? You might have your tape recorder. Arch always have his glasses up high. I mean, I know some of y'all tendencies. I study y'all too, right? But it's one of those things where when you know and you look through that tunnel and you see all your boys there, everybody you've been in the locker room with, and you're walking. You know, the crowd, you didn't even hear that. Yeah. But you see your boys just leaning left and right, ready, right? And then you get out there and you walk. I mean, I'm getting chills right now. And I know when I do that Hulk smash, the fire and the blaze is going to go up and the whole stadium's going to erupt. And that's when I'm like, oh, it's game time. Like all the guys are ready. That you will never get that feeling again. You can ride a Six Flags roller coaster ride all you want to. It's not the same. So I'm going to really miss that.
Yeah. We'll do Jeff, Todd, and we'll finish with Kyle.
Jeff Cole with Fox Sports. Congrats to you both. Each year we see how emotional it is when people get that call or find out that they're going to the Hall of Fame. What do you think that moment would be like for you, and what would those emotions represent?
I don't know. It's one of those things where when people ask you, are you going to cry when you get married? Are you going to cry when the baby come out? That's what the guys ask. You going to cry? I really don't know. It's because something's going to come over you at that time. If it's a knock, if it's somebody calling, whatever it is, it's going to be a moment of silence. A moment of silence again that, hey, I'm coming through that tunnel. I get another opportunity to come through that tunnel again. And Woody, what we just said is we miss coming through that tunnel.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
We might get an opportunity to go through that tunnel one more time.
Yeah.
That's like, oh, I'm going to cry.
Oh, yeah.
I'm crying.
You know damn well I'm gonna cry. I don't know what the reaction is going to be. I know it would be an emotional reaction in doing so, but it's just an appreciation of so many people. I don't know if it'll be a moment where I'm not going to be patting myself on the back. I know it's going to be, representation of championship football and playing, for years. I know Charles Haley went in on that defense, but the representation of those early 90s defenses that were so damn good, man, just so damn good that just never got the acclaim and never got the pat on the back. But the James Washingtons, the Thomas Everetts, there's so many great players that I played with, man, that helped me become the player that I was, man. So I would definitely it would be about, for me, it would be the emotions wrapped around the fact that I'm representing my brothers that I played with.
For both of you guys, the current team, for DeMarcus, I know you have a relationship with Micah. What have you seen him in year 2 and where he is in his development? For Woody, as you're watching the practices up there, what are your thoughts on the safety group? Because I don't know if they ever replaced you since you retired in 03 or 04.
I remember the first year Micah came in, it was like one of those things where when you put a player in the locker room and the other guys are looking like, he's going to take my position. And a lot of guys didn't like him. And now I've seen that transition in year 2. To where I see a lot of guys smiling, a lot of guys playing with tenacity, but I see Micah leading in a way to where I knew that he can do it, but he's done it really fast in 2 years. Because usually it takes a little bit of time to win over the locker room. especially when you got guys like DeMarcus Lawrence and, Diggs, so on and so forth, Van Der Esch. But they're playing as a team. They're playing as a team in a way to where the guys they're really dominant. They're playing dominant. They're not playing for an individual, they're playing for the team. And I just like that maturity in him and the way he's leading.
As far as the safeties, man, just the secondary as a whole, Hooker, Wilson, Curse, man, this is the best safety group I've seen that this team has had, and they're versatile in a lot of different ways. Look, Wilson makes plays every day. I'm so proud of that kid. And I remember watching Wilson play at A&M, and he just popped out. He just popped off the screen every time I watched him play. He just played with so much energy. Reminds me a lot of Dawkins in a lot of ways, especially close to the line of scrimmage, how he can get up close to you. He'll cause fumbles. He blitzes off the edges really, really well. So they're very versatile at the position. They rotate them in pretty good. I really like the secondary. Of course, Diggs is one of the big playmakers. But I'm going to tell you what, the kid, is it Bland? Bland. Dude, he's a player. Mm-hmm. He is a player. Is a rookie, right? This is his first year. And I've watched him play, especially the last 4 or 5 games. They have some depth at the position. I know they're dealing with some injuries at the cornerback position, but they filled him in. He's come in and played extremely well. And I think hopefully he's the starter next year because he's played that well. But they're very versatile on that back end, and they can make big plays.
Kyle Yeomans, DallasCowboys.com, and congratulations again to both of you. But it's often said that in order to get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, you have to be crucial to the story of football. Both of you guys are very deserving of that, but who was crucial in your story, whether it was growing up or in your early days, that allowed you to become DeMarcus Ware, Darren Woodson, and be available for this opportunity?
I think who was crucial in my story, I think it was 2 people that I can call out. That's Bo Jackson being one of them, and the other one's actually O.C. Umeora. I remember when O.C. moved from London and moved right next to the apartment right beside me. He didn't know English. He played a lot of soccer, right? O.C. was about 280. And I remember O.C. started playing football, blew his knee out, and he lost a lot of weight and became a pass rusher. And this was before he got a scholarship to Troy. And 4 other guys were down there, and he was telling Tracy Rocker at the time, which is a phenomenal defensive lineman coach. He said, "Hey Tracy, DeMarcus, you should go down there and look for him. Give him a scholarship." I remember Tracy Rocker came in detention when I was in detention. All right, and OC showed up too at the same time, and I'm looking like. He said, "If you get out of detention, I give you a scholarship." And I saw OC. Somebody that, showed a little bit how to play football, like a brother to me, right? And then, guess what? Get me a scholarship. And I remember one day he said, "You know what? It was about 1 o'clock at night, and this is what changed my life. This is the stupidest story, I feel like. 1 o'clock in the morning, I was studying, and he said, "Hey, come outside." And I remember walking downstairs, and I remember seeing this Mercedes S600 come with the bubble eyes, with the 26s on it, pull up. I got in the car. He said, "You want this?" And I looked at him. He said, "You're better than me. If you want this, you can go and get it. But it's going to be on you, and I'll help push you through it." And I'm looking like, whatever. I mean, look now. I mean, it's one of those things where, like OC, that's my dude, and Bo Jackson. He's not my dude, but he did, help me along the way. You know what I'm saying? but just it's one of those things. Those 2 guys are pivotal.
My mother. Hands down, they ain't close. She was my idol. I grew up, I was an inner city kid, project kid, moved to the west side of Phoenix, and my mom was a single mom, raised 4 kids. I didn't have a father figure in my life. Got up every morning at 5:30, went to her first job until 5 o'clock, got off that job, went off to her second job, got home about 11:30 every day. And she was fire.
No.
She inspired me in so many ways. Yeah. She's the one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, bro.
All right.
Thank you.